What's going on, everybody on YouTube? My name is Joe Golden, and I am starting a vlog series about my kidney cancer journey. I am already a YouTube creator. I have a channel called Joe's Golden Garage, which is basically automotive related content. I am in the used car business as a hobby, and that channel is mostly related to things in the used car business and what have you. But I'm going to do, of course, a little another channel off of it, and it's going to be called Joe Golden's Kidney Kidneys Cancer. I don't know. Joe's Kidney Cancer Journey. I'm not real sure yet what we're going to call it, but I'm going to come up with something, some name that hopefully might lead some people, just that are that are YouTubing and just searching for people's stories. I have followed people's stories on YouTube about their health journeys and battles, whether it be just disease or an addiction, whatever it may be. And I think it's a good therapeutic way to, talk about a serious thing, a serious thing going on in your life, serious chapter. It'll be good for things like my kids to look back on, whether I'm around or not, me to look back on, reflect, especially if I survive and live for years and years. It'll be nice to look back on this and be grateful and thankful for the life I do have, hopefully. Kidney cancer, I realize, is probably, I'm still learning a little bit about it, but it's probably not one of the most, scariest or, deadliest cancers. Say like, if I had lung cancer, or if I was eat up with a brain cancer or some bone cancer or something just terrible like that. But this first vlog, we'll just talk about basically my diagnosis, kind of what happened and what got me here. About 3 weeks ago, I was just going to bed, as I normally do. I have had some history with constipation, due to the fact I am a longtime opioid user. I've had multiple back surgeries over the past 30 years, knee surgery, arthritis. I've been in pain management now for 6 years this go around, but I was in pain management before. It's just something that's been a part of my life for years. And I had suffered from opioid constipation back in 2022. So 3 weeks ago, when I was going to bed, I was having that same pain, cramping in my kind of, just in my lower belly there, in my gut, that just wouldn't go away. It wasn't like it would hurt and then subside, hurt, subside. It was just constant. It was a constant. It was like somebody had stabbed me and left the knife right there, in my stomach or in my gut. So I took some Tums, I took some Gas-X, a couple of things. I had been pretty regular with the restroom department, but I went ahead and took a laxative and some things just in case. waited around a couple of hours till about midnight, and nothing was really, I could tell nothing was really happening, and the pain wasn't subsiding. If anything, it was getting worse. So luckily, I live next door to my mother. I rent a house next door to her that she owns, and she owns a few here in the neighborhood. And when I went through my separation with my wife 5 years ago, she rented this house to me. So I'm very grateful to have her next door. We get along great. We help each other. She's in her 70s, so I can help her with things. She's alone. So, I can help her with things around the house and what have you. So it's a great situation. So if any of us get sick or whatever, it's always great to have somebody close by, especially if you are alone, to get you some help and, just be there for you. So I reached out to her and I said, Mom, I think we got to go to the emergency room. I think I've got the opioid constipation again. Like I mentioned earlier, I went through it in 2022 and it put me in the hospital for 4 days before it relieved itself and worked itself out and I got back on track. So 3 weeks ago when I went to the hospital emergency room, I just knew that's what it was in my head. I was like, okay, this is what I got. This is the same thing. So we rush up to emergency room. Fairly long wait. I mean, and I was just in excruciating pain, and they were trying to help me. They gave me a shot of morphine, and when the shot of morphine did not do anything, I really got concerned at that point. I thought, whoa, wait a minute, okay. I can remember when I went in 2022, they gave me a shot of Adderall and it calmed the pain and calmed me down real quick. So the morphine not calming me down was worrisome. So they did. They got me on the MRI and got some scans while I was there, and was able to look at them, and they came back to me. By this time, it was about 2:30 in the morning. And she looked at me with this look. I can't remember if it was just the emergency room doctor or PA working that night. I can't remember now, but she just looked at me with this look and she just said, "You don't have constipation." She said, "You've got a bigger issue. You've got a much bigger issue. You've got a kidney that has a mass on it, and it looks like it's just surrounded in blood and blood clotting and just like it's about to pop inside you." She said, "You need urology help ASAP. So we're going to treat you with some medication here tonight to get you some relief for that, get you through the night into the next day, and we'll get you in with a neurologist unless you have one." And I was like, okay, great. So they gave me a pill. I thought I had it up here. Ketorolac, I think it's called. And boy, it was like night and day difference in pain. That, morphine couldn't touch it, but this anti-inflammatory Ketorolac just nailed the pain, knocked it down, made me sleepy. Got home, went to sleep for a few hours, woke up, went to the restroom, and when I went to the restroom, I had just explosive bleeding that I was passing in my urine. It was painful. It had blood clots in it. It was really bad, and it scared the crap out of me. Man, I tell you what, I thought, what in the hell has happened? So I called my neurologist. Luckily, this was a Tuesday morning. So I called my neurologist, and he is a good family friend of mine. I've known him for years. He's just a few years older than me. My kids grew up with his kids, et cetera, et cetera. Great guy. I called him up and said, Bo, I said, you got to see me, man. I missed my 2023 annual physical with him due to an emergency knee surgery I had in 2023, and I forgot to reschedule with him, and I forgot to reschedule again in 2024. And, you know, it's kind of like if it's if it's not broke, don't fix it. I just didn't have any issues other than some, in 2022, he had pre-diagnosed me with having some small kidney stones. Because I had passed a little blood previously in 2022 and had sought his help, and he tested me, checked me out, said, you've got small kidney stones. We can treat it with some medication. He said, or, you know, let's see the frequency of it. Let's kind of develop, see what kind of pattern. Is it often, frequent? How often do they come? And it was so infrequent that I would have them that I ended up not taking any medication at all for them. And I would just occasionally deal with the pain in your left driver's side, my left side, back, and kind of on the front. And then I would pass a little bit of blood, and then I would, that evening or afternoon or whenever it happened, I would notice some irritation in my urethra from where I passed these small stones. And they were small because I tried to catch them in the strainer several times before, and I never could get anything to show up in the strainer, at least that I could see with my visual eye. So, you know, we both had just agreed, that's what you got, that's what your problem is. But you follow up with me once a year, and we'll, you know, do the test, check your numbers, all that stuff, make sure everything's okay. And like I said, 2023, had emergency knee surgery. It landed right, like I got the little text on my phone, you have an appointment with your, I was like, great, here I am, like right in the middle of this. So I had to cancel and then forgot to reschedule in 24. So I had some history with my neurologist already over these small kidney stones. And but you know, this time the phone call was, hey man, I'm bleeding and I've got x-rays and there's apparently my kidney, something's terribly wrong with it, and we have a mass. And he cleared out an appointment for me later that afternoon. And I ran up the road to go see him. And he said, bring the x-rays with you from the hospital. I said, okay, I will. So I brought them. And he looked at them and he said, I do not like what I see at all. You know, I'm not sure what this is. And he showed me the x-ray. And, you know, one kidney on my right side was, you know, normal looking, and it had some white, coloration of its shape and what it had going on inside. And it looked like it was doing its job. And then it had my left one over here, real swollen, dark in color. It looked like it was dead. Didn't look like anything was going on. Has a mass hanging off the side of it. And he's like, yeah, this thing, we've got a problem. We've got a problem. And he said, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do surgery on you tomorrow. He said, I want to get a biopsy. And I said, okay, let's do it. You know, fast. I'm not afraid of, you know, let's do it all today. So he went, scheduled me up, got me set up for to go in and have general anesthesia, and he went in and biopsied the mass, biopsied the kidney. I'm still continuing to pass this blood. That never did slow down from the initial outburst the day after I got home from the emergency room. So, that's still continuing. He goes in and he gets his biopsies of the mass and biopsies of just my kidney itself, chunks of each. And they do this by going through your urethra in the penis and going up through the bladder and on up that way. So very interesting and extremely uncomfortable after the fact. But he got what he needed, but he did say when he got in there, he said it was just a bloodbath. He was like, I couldn't tell what up from down. He was like, it was just a bloodbath of blood clots and just a mess. And he really couldn't give me any new answers other than let's just get these things sent off to pathology and let's see what we got. And I said, okay, fingers crossed. We are a Christian family, so prayers. He prayed with me. My mom prayed with me. We prayed over it and went home, and he had installed a couple of stents in my urethra that runs from the bladder to the kidney, to help get that clotting and that blood to drain off. So that has now been, today is Sunday, February 9th. And this took place 2 Fridays ago, this biopsy and the procedure where he installed the stents. So it's been 10 days. Yeah, something like that. So, yeah. So anyway, I have been just straight blood. Every time I go to urine, straight blood. It has lightened up a day or two. It'll lighten up just a little bit. One day it kind of came to a stop, but then later that night I had that kind of explosion again with a big blood clot. So there's been lots of clotting and just heavy bleeding. Right now, today, I'm sitting more at like it looks like a 75% blood with just a little bit of clear urine in it. So it does look a touch better, but still passing a lot of blood. But he's got me on some medications, and I saw him Friday, 2 days ago, and he went over the pathology with me. And he said it's malignant. The mass is malignant, and it is severely affected your kidney, and we've got to get it out. We got to get it out now, ish. I said, okay, do what we got to do. Of course, my mom, my wife, they were all in tears. And it hadn't hit me like that yet, I don't know if it's hit me at all. And I have felt like crap for the past couple of weeks. And I haven't worked. Gosh, I hadn't worked in 12, 13 days now. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm a metal fabricator for work, welding, fabbing metal, bending it, cutting it, punching holes in it, whatever you want to do. You want me to make a diamond plate toolbox for the bed of your truck, I make those. If you want me to make you a big barbecue pit for your backyard, I make those. I'm a worker, very blue collar, I guess you'd call it, or whatever. Hot summers, cold winters. I'm 52 years old, and I've been doing this since 2007. Before that, I worked for the telephone company since I got out of college and worked in middle management and put up with corporate bullshit my entire life, and I had had enough. So this has just been, since 2007, I've been doing the kind of work that I love. And when you're doing work in life that you love, it's not really work, and you really get to enjoy life. And I've been very thankful for all the many blessings I've had over the years. I haven't lost a lot of people really close to me. Well, I take that back. Friends I have, a few tragic situations, car accidents, suicides, things that just shocks you. And probably when my grandfather died back in 2014, that was super hard for me. He and I were very close. And I have one living grandmother that's 93. And she's probably the most precious thing in the world to me. I love her to death. And she is just, I was real hesitant about even telling her about this diagnosis. And she's just, I almost wish I hadn't. But the whole family knows now, and I don't know how it couldn't have gotten around to her. She's just devastated because I was her first grandson, and she and I have always had a special bond. She lives about 1.5 miles from me, and I'm the only grandchild that lives close by, so I go and see her a lot, take her dinners and lunch, and I do her yard, and I keep up her swimming pool, and all those good things. So we have a great relationship, and I'm so blessed to have her in my life. So I hate that she's scared for me right now, but I got a lot of people scared for me right now. But at the same time, I got a lot of people praying for me right now. And I haven't always been, beat down the door Christian. This is just something I've experienced in the past 3 or 4 years as I made some lifestyle changes. I used to be a heavy drinker. I kind of was curious if maybe that might have had something to do with this. I also was a smoker for years, but I've been quit for several years now. My doctor, neurologist, he basically said anything could have caused it. He was like, we're not going to point our fingers at anything. But he was like, we got to get it out. So next step is, like I said, this is the 9th, February 9th, 2025, starting a new week next week. He's going to get me in for a PET scan. So I'm actually more nervous about the PET scan than I actually am the surgery of removing the kidney. What if that PET scan shows up cancer somewhere else? What the hell do we do then? What if they find a small little tumor or something on my lungs from those years of smoking when I was younger? Or, what if there's what if there's cancer somewhere near the kidney that it's spread to? Luckily, the kidney that's being taken out, like I said, it's my driver's side, my left side, and your liver's on your opposite side next to that kidney. So luckily I don't have my liver over there next to it. So this kidney seems to be over there just kind of all by itself hanging out. So I'm hoping that it's just going to be limited to that. And we're just going to remove the kidney and like I believe it's a renal gland or adrenal gland, the urethra from it to the bladder, and he will remove a little piece of my bladder. My bladder is clear, no cancer in my bladder, so I'm good there. Looks like it's just isolated to the kidney. But the PET scan this week will be the telltale all. So I'm asking for prayers, well wishes, good lucks, whatever, that I get a good PET scan this week. Because this is just, I've had 3 back surgeries in my life in 30 years and a knee surgery. And, I've had my elbow rebuilt before. And this is the scariest thing. You hear that C word, cancer, and you're just like, and you hear about other friends and people that have had it and fought it, and some are survivors and some have died. And I've lost a couple of friends. I've lost 2 girlfriends that worked with me back in the phone when we were in the phone business. They were great, great gals. And, they're both dead now, and they were younger than me. One died about 10 years ago. She was 36. And then the other one died 2 years ago. Well, it'll be 3 years ago. And she was 39. And colon cancer for her. And then the first one, she had some type of rare, weird nasal type cancer up here. And she had to have her eye and her nose removed. Very cruel and grotesque and just terrible situation she went through. So, I know it's out there, but I don't know why we always ourselves think we're invincible to it. Because, we're not. If it happens to Joe Blow down the street, it'll happen to Joe Golden sitting right here. So, I've watched these videos on YouTube of people making the announcement and the fear in their eyes and scared. And I'm nervous, but I put a lot of faith. I have a lot of faith in a higher power, and it's in His hands. I'm just going to put it in His hands. Make sure I've had a good life. I've had I had a party life, wild party life. I've had a marriage that is now going on, even though my wife and I are separated, right? We've been separated for 5 years, but it works for us. It works. But we are now, let's see, 2025, we will be married 27 years this year. I've got a beautiful, wonderful 23-year-old daughter who's in nursing school. And Lord, all she wants to do is drive down here and come see if she can nurse me to health. She's beautiful and wonderful. And then I got an 18-year-old son that's autistic, and I don't think he really understands the severity of what's going on. He's called me and texted me, and, he's showed his concern, but he has a little bit of a hard time processing how serious it is. So I've been blessed with a terrific family. I'm blessed with the ability to be able to take this on, and with good doctors, good hospital, insurance, which even with my insurance, my wife's a school teacher, and in the state of Georgia, teachers have really good insurance. And I'm on that plan. And even with that plan, so far, I have spent $4,400 of my own money, not including what insurance is paying for the little bit of testing and work and procedure that has been done so far. Now, it is first of the year, so I am trying to get to a deductible that I have to meet. But I believe even if once deductibles met and, anything surgery, hospital, I think they still only cover up to 80 or 90%. So I'm still going to have, some bills. This is expensive. I don't see how people that don't have insurance or are not wealthy, or I just don't see how are they paying for their cancer diagnosis and their treatments. I mean, I'm talking about I had to fork this money out before I could even move to the next step to get a biopsy. Okay, we're going to do this biopsy here in the morning. Here, we need $2,400 now, and I'm like, oh crap. Well, let me get the money, and luckily I'm able to get it. But for somebody that's doesn't have that kind of resources or access, what the hell do they do? I imagine there's, and I need to research this a little bit. I imagine there's maybe funds or programs out there for people of lower income. There's got to be some type of plan to help treat these people when they get a serious illness and say either they don't have insurance, or if they do have insurance, they're still a low income family and don't have, thousands to spend on deductibles and copays and things like that. So anyway, and I imagine the medication is going to be expensive as hell, because he did tell me I was going to have a little bit of chemo afterwards, just in case, and if the PET scan is clear. So anyway, that's going to be it for this first one. Gosh, half hour already. I'm sorry. I rambled on here. I hope basically we can maybe do this once. I don't know, maybe after the PET scan this week, I'll do another upload. And then after the surgery, I'll do another upload. So this won't be something I'll be putting up daily, but after I go through maybe each step of the phase of fighting this, I'll get an upload on here and we can keep track of how it's going, how I'm looking, my appearance. I'm already experiencing some weakness and paleness. I've got family members and people coming to me and saying, "Oh, Joe, you're pale." So, I'll go get something to eat or a little snack, and I'll come back and be like, "Oh man, you look much better." So, I'm already starting to see some effects. So, but I appreciate y'all watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Please comment if you have any experience with this yourself personally. And any helpful comments on how to do the future vlogs, because I can ramble and talk a lot, and I don't want to bore people to death. So if anybody has a recommendation about, hey, Joe, talk a little bit more about this and a little less of that. It won't hurt my feelings, I promise. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you with the next one. Y'all take care and peace. Be well.